Hello everyone and welcome back to more Fantasy Life I. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can make the perfect item drop armor. This is going to include a basic armor set over here with item drop up. It's going to include your 2 accessories with item drop up, and it is going to include a shield with item drop up. So it's going to be a ton of work, and you should be prepared to put a ton of work into this. It is not going to be easy. It is not going to be quick. It's gonna be a grind. To even begin doing this grind, you have to do another grind, and that's gonna be getting Marco's shop up to level 5. I finally got all of the wanted items over here to get his shop to level 5. This is not an easy process, especially getting the Roast of Legend Plus. You need a ton of pretty hard to get items where you probably wish you had the item drop armor already, but unfortunately we kind of need the trip applique, which is a newly added item and recipe that we can get over here. So yeah, that is exactly the reason why we want to get our guy up to level 5. So let's buy the recipe for the trip applique here for a second. I don't even know what you need to make that. All right, so apparently you need cashmere, strings, and glossy feathers. You can buy all of these materials, so you could choose to make the trip applique like doing it via crafting, or you can just choose to buy them straight away from Marco over here for 3,000 a pop, which is what I am gonna do. I have the money to spare. I did my money grinding, so we're just gonna do that. I'm gonna buy 100 of these, which is probably a bit overkill. At least I hope that's gonna be a bit overkill, so that should definitely be enough for this video. So let's get to the actual crafting part. A little side note, you will of course need the remake ability. As always, when you try to add effects onto your equipment, you will need the remake ability, and in this case you'll also need the extra materials ability over here, because we want to be able to add the trip applique to our equipment when we craft it. So with that, let's show you guys what pieces of equipment you need to make. Let's focus on the accessories and specs first. Something that you could do without the trip applique is make your charms over here, because you are able to naturally roll the item drop on your charms. You do not need to put a trip applique over here. Doing so will make it even easier to actually roll the item drop rate, but you don't need to do this. As far as I know, this is the only piece of equipment where you can roll the item drop without using an applique. So you could already make 1 charm for you and 3 for your buddies, because yes, you will actually need to make this whole armor set 4 times if you want to get the perfect drop rate. So you could already do this before even having access to the trip applique. Just make 4 of these charms. I already did this for myself. I actually got fairly lucky and got myself a charm literally naturally without remaking, with the 10% item drop rate in both slots. So this is what you can do. This is what the perfect charm looks like. So let's move on to the specs next, and let's try actually making one, because I don't have this yet. As you saw, I just unlocked the trip appliques myself. So you will need to add the applique over here. You're not going to be able to roll item drop up without it. So let's go. I'm just going to do it with the alchemist monocle, because that's going to be the cheapest to remake after that, because you will need redux stones of course, and also these stats really don't matter too much. We are really just trying to get item drop up. We're not trying to get great defenses or like great attack. We really are just making these pieces of equipment to boost our item drop rate and nothing else. So over here, wow, that's pretty lucky actually. I got item drop rate plus in 2 slots. What are the chances that that's going to be 20% straight away? that would be insane. Let's take a look though. Let's see here. Okay, so it's actually both a pretty useless drop, because I believe you can get 10% in a single slot. So I'm just gonna have to make that again. So here we go. Let's do it again. Don't forget to add your trip applique, because if you don't, you are not gonna get item drop on anything except for the accessories, which this is not an accessory. This is a like a specs. It's a pair of glasses. It's not the same thing. All right, wow, this is like my first time using trip appliques. I got item drop rate plus twice yet again. It's kind of crazy. So let's take a look over here. Equipment, the last thing we made, and okay, at least one of these has rolled the plus 10%. That is perfect. So what you want to do next is, once you got the 10% on a single thing, you want to remake that equipment and try rolling for the additional 10%. So it's going to be this piece over here. Only going to cost 1 redux stone. We will have to use the trip appliques once again. Let's remake. Also, something nice with these very early or like very low level recipes, you're most of the time gonna be able to complete the whole craft in just like 1 thing. Okay, so we actually rolled defense plus there, but we also rolled 1 item drop up, and let's see. Oh dude, look at that. pretty easy. Okay, we rolled plus 10% item drop rate. Only took maybe like 2 to 3 minutes to make this piece of equipment. But again, you will have to do this a lot of times if you want the perfect set. But with that, let's actually change into our perfect pieces of equipment over here. So the Alchemist Monocle with 20% on that piece alone. And over here, my little level 1 charm with 20% as well. So that's going to be for your accessory and your specs. Up next, we are going to move to capes, which are also able to roll plus 20% item drop, apparently. Let's try this out for myself. I haven't done so yet. So extra materials, we're going to add the trip applique. Don't forget to do that, of course. All right, nice. I managed to roll item drop rate twice yet again. It is going pretty easy so far, actually. And we do have 110% item drop rate already on this. So yet again, say it with me, guys, it's remaking time. So let's go. We are not in the Alchemist life any longer, so you will need to unlock the remake and extra materials option in your skill tree for Tailor. So let's get the cape at the trip applique yet again and try rolling for an additional 10% exp, or no, not exp, item drop rate. Although the process is exactly the same as as with the exp one, except for with the exp armor, there is no actual applique or like extra material that allows us to get extra exp, unfortunately, because that would open up a world for more like exp drops. Anyways, we got one item drop rate up. Let's check if it is actually a good one. It's not, it's just 5%, so that means that you just have to remake once again. Make sure that you do select your 10% item drop rate and not like scrap it and go with twice 5. You definitely don't want to do that. So over here you can just select continue redoing, and you're going to keep repeating this process until you do roll the perfect cape. And there we go. This is literally the next attempt. So far I haven't gotten a like a single time where I made the item and did not get the item drop rate. So these appliques are working like a charm. So with that, let's go over to Paladin, equip our little cape over here with 20% item drop rate, and that's going to bring our total to already 60% item drop rate up. Now let's keep going, but let's switch things up a little bit and actually go on to the shield, because so far we have been able to roll 20% item drop on a single piece of equipment, and the shield is going to be the last piece of equipment where we're going to be able to do that with, because for all of the other ones, like your cap over here, your jerkin, whatever, like your top, your bottoms, your gloves, and like your little shoes over here, all of those pieces are only able to roll a total of 10% item drop. So the shield is still going to be able to boost your item drop by a lot. So I definitely prioritize making these 4 pieces first, like your accessory, your specs, your cape, and your shield. That is already going to bring you to 80% item drop up. All right, great, we made it. Let's take a look at how much we actually managed to roll on it. Oh, perfect. Okay, we were able to roll a 10%. Quite nice. That means that we can immediately go on to the remaking. So over here, take your little shield, add your trip applique, and let's go. I'm like explaining this like I'm doing it to a child, but I just want to make sure that it's very clear what you need to do here, and that it's actually a pretty simple process. Like, it's just, I mean, it's just doing the same thing over and over and over again until you finally get what you need, which so far hasn't even taken that long. Like, let's see. Boom, there we go. Item drop up, and it is 10%. Look at that, 10% just like that. Didn't even take me like 2 minutes, and I made a perfect shield. It's actually even easier than the EXP armor so far. So just like that, with only 4 pieces of equipment boosted so far, we have 20% on the shield, 20% on the cape, 20% on the charm, and 20% on the specs, for a total of 80%. And we are going to add 50% to that by making these pieces of equipment, which is kind of crazy, because with only these 4 pieces, we managed to roll 80%, and you gotta make 5 pieces still to only get a 50% boost total. So this is kind of where you have to think for yourself if you want to make this for your buddies as well. Do you just want to go for a total of 320% item drop rate if you like equip all of your buddies with the accessory, specs, cape, and shield? Or do you want to go for the full 520% item drop rate, which is going to be the max that you can get? Of course, I'm going to show you how to get the full percentage. So let's move on to the leather cap next. And I'm just basically going to make the leather set. Again, I just want to do this because it is very cheap in cost. It is very cheap in Redux stone cost, but you can roll this on, I do believe, every single like pair of boots, gloves, bottoms, like top and hat. I just like doing it on the cheapest ones. So let's go add your trip applique and make the piece of equipment. I'm curious to see if it's going to be as easy with these as it is on well, the other 4 pieces that we made so far. Oh, hold on, this is the first time that I've not rolled the item drop rate. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna craft it again. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, I managed to roll item drop rate up. This is the second time that I made this, but that is interesting. The first time that I actually didn't even get a like item drop rate a single time. But I guess it does kind of make sense because you can only roll a total of 5%, so there's not really a difference between the like the previous things that we crafted and this, because you can only get 5%. There's not like you can get 5 or 10%. It's either you roll the item drop rate or you don't, I guess. So let's equip the leather hat and remake it for another 5%, of course. Okay, this is the first attempt at remaking the cap. Let's see, do we roll it or do we not? Oh, we actually roll it twice even. Okay, well, that's nice. So just pick the 5%. You're not going to be able to roll 10% on these pieces of equipment. So that's already a perfect cap. Pretty simple. Let's go on to the leather jerkin, or like the top piece next. And yet again, we actually didn't get an item drop. Okay, interesting. So let's make it again. Okay, here we go. This is like the fourth time. Didn't change, so I did attach the applique. Did get the item drop rate, so it is possible rolling it on this. Oh, there we go. I made an item using extra mass 20 times. That's a nice quest. Completed. Oops, I needed to remake. So remake, as you can see, I only made 4 pieces and we got the 5% on this one. Oh, okay, here we go. This is my 4th time as well of remaking it, so I actually technically had to make the top 8 times. I had to make it 4 times to roll the additional, like the, what did I just say? The initial 5% item drop rate up, and then I had to remake it 4 times to get the second one. So that was definitely the most difficult piece of equipment to get so far, but it is not impossible. So let's go over here. It's going to be this one, I think. Yep, the leather jerkin, equip it, and only 3 pieces left to make. Let's go to the leather leggings, attach the trip applique as always, and make it. All right, so this is also my 4th time making this, so something tells me that I might get it now, but I have heard some people saying that if you make higher ranks of like crafting equipment, like more difficult recipes. Let's see, did I get it? Oh, still did not get it. Interesting. Let's go on to try number 5. But yeah, if you make more difficult recipes, it's easier to roll the like applique effect that you're going for on those higher pieces. I could test that out later. Oh my god. Okay, finally, that is the 9th attempt, I think. So let's actually try testing it out now. I do think it's very important that you can roll the effects on these low level pieces of equipment, because it will significantly reduce the like the redux stone cost. Although, I mean, if it costs 4 redux stones to very easily get the item drop rate on like higher pieces of equipment, or you have to try like re-rolling 7 times on a like an earlier piece of equipment, I guess it is more worthwhile actually going for the higher tiers. But I don't know, I still actually just like doing it on these early pieces. But nevertheless, let's actually try making it on this level 5 piece of equipment, for example. I have to make this anyways for a blacksmith quest, so I don't feel like I waste these materials. Let's attach the trip applique on the greaves. So this is the same piece of equipment I just had to roll 9 times, or like I just had to craft 9 times to roll the item drop for. All right, let's go. This should be a perfect craft for these pair of leggings, or these greaves. And let's see what effects did we... Wow, okay. Well, so we did immediately roll the item drop rate up. So it might indeed be easier rolling the additional effects from your appliques or stickers on higher tiers of equipment, but I do think it's very important to point out that it is very much possible to roll them on the lowest tiers of equipment if you want to do so. Let's test it out one more time though. So let's first try rolling the item drop up on our leather gauntlets over here. I'm gonna be remaking the leggings later on, don't worry. Oh wow, okay, I actually rolled it at the like on the first time for these gauntlets. I'm gonna try recrafting and seeing how long it's gonna take me to get a like a second pair, because maybe I just got really lucky. This was actually the very next craft. That is interesting. Oh wow, and this is then 3 attempts later, because I didn't get it like 2 attempts after the previous one, and we got it twice in one go. So that means I don't even have to remake those gloves. They are perfect. So that is interesting. It seems like maybe only the leggings and the jerkin over here, maybe these are the only 2 pieces where it's kind of difficult to roll it on. Let's try making this and attaching the applique to it, and if I get it on the like first attempt, I do kind of want to say that it is easier rolling the additional effects on higher tiers of equipment, which doesn't mean that you should do so. It just means that this is another way to do it, maybe even quicker than I'm doing it. But I mean, making just lower tiers of equipment also has its own benefits. Like, you need to put less rare resources into it, you need to spend less redux stones remaking it. But I do think it's important to confirm that it is like actually easier rolling additional effects on these higher crafts, or like these higher tier crafts. So let's see, are we gonna roll it from the like on the first time? No, not even. So that makes me believe that I just got maybe pretty lucky on the higher tier of like leggings, and there's actually not really a difference between trying to roll additional effects on higher or lower tiers of equipment. I think it's literally all just down to luck. You can definitely let me know your own like findings down in the comments below, but from my personal testing over here, I kind of want to say that it is just pretty much down to luck. So let's make these leather boots lastly, and then after that I'm gonna remake those last 3 pieces of equipment. Oh, there we go. This is the first time trying to make it, and I already got the item drop rate. So let's get to remaking. So remake, as you can see over here, it took a lot of attempts from these leather leggings in order to get at least like even a single item drop rate up, and then we immediately got it on the greaves, of course, but we kind of disproved that by not even rolling it once on the like the top over here. But let's first remake these leggings. So attach the trip applique. It's only gonna cost 1 redux stone, which is basically the reason why I recommend doing it on lower tiers of equipment, because yet again, I've said this before, we are not making these pieces for high defenses or anything like that. We're just making them so we can roll item drop up. It might be helpful rolling it on oh wow, okay, that's just crazy. It took us so long to roll a single one on these, and now I just get 2 of them at the same time. Yeah, that makes me believe even more that it's just all down to luck. But yeah, as I was trying to say, it might be helpful getting higher defenses on these item drop armors, because if you want these to help you farm dark fire and the slates, for example, from the shadow monsters, if you know what I'm talking about, those are going to be pretty high level, so you might want to get some more defensive equipment. That is really all up for you to decide. Me personally, I'm probably just gonna kill them anyways in like a couple of hits, so I'm just hoping I won't get hit actually, so I don't really care about defense. But yeah, the leather gauntlets, we managed to roll item drop rate twice on it naturally, which is very nice. Don't even need to remake those. So let's remake this last piece over here, the boots. Oh, there we go, first remake, and we already got it, which means that I right now have 1 set of perfect item drop up. Let's go ahead and equip it on my paladin. So this needs to be the gauntlets, this needs to be the pair of leggings, and this needs to be that pair of shoes over here. So there we go, that is the max amount of item drop rate up you can get on a single dude. Now you need to do this 3 times over, because you of course have 3 buddies that can equip these as well. You will need to have 3 paladin buddies with you, but if you want to sacrifice 20%, if you want to get like some woodcutters or anglers or miners or farmers with you, if you're not that high level and need some help from your gathering buddies, you can of course just equip them with these slots, but you will have to sacrifice a 60% item drop. But yeah, 1 dude over here is gonna be able to give you a bonus of 130% item drop rate. Let's go over all of the different percentages yet again. So the shield can roll a total of 20%, the cap can roll a total of 10%, the gauntlets can roll a total of 10%, the boots can roll a total of 10%, the top can roll a total of 10%, the bottoms can roll a total of 10%, and then these last 3, the cape, specs, and accessory, can roll 20% each. So very nice. Definitely recommend prioritizing on your accessory, your specs, your cape, and your shield first, because those 4 pieces are going to give you 80% item drop rate, and making the 5 leftover pieces are only going to give you 50% more. But of course, it's still a lot that you're missing out on if you don't make those. So pretty cool. Let's actually try going over to Ginormosia. I think I am at the castle over here, and there are going to be some shadow monsters over here. Let's try beating these up until, oh wow, until I get some slates, I was gonna say, but as you can see, we got a lot of items and 2 slates already, so that's very nice. I'm gonna unequip all of the pieces that I have on right now, and let's try that again, and let's see how many drops we're gonna get right now. So as you can see, we got like 2 little bags over there, and no slates, no like magic fire or whatever it's called, like dark fire. I mean, we didn't get dark fire with the item drop up, but we did get a lot more stuff to drop, and that is from only having 1 dude, that is me myself, with the like the item drop armor. Normally you will have even more. Like right now I only have 130% item drop up, and with your 3 additional buddies you can achieve a total of 520%, and I already got a like a lot of drops. So yeah, this is definitely a very powerful armor if you want to farm anything in the game. It's gonna help you get more elder logs, it's gonna help you with these like dark fire and mysterious slate drops if that's what you want to do in the end game. It's gonna help you with some like boss monster drops, some pretty rare rare drops. It's going to help you with the mining drops, farming drops, fishing drops. It helps you with every single thing. And I do believe it also helps with the rare mount drops, which is going to be the next video that I make. So with that, that's going to be it. This video is probably pretty long, but I think it's very important to explain this process very clearly. So with that, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, definitely don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Not even 5% of the people watching my videos are actually subscribed, so I would appreciate it a lot if you would do so. Now with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, later. Bye.